Welcome back to Night Mind, friends. I'm very excited to have you visiting the office again this evening. And genuinely, I couldn't wait to get in here again after seeing tonight's project. Let's get it out right now. Vermis Malum appeared to me through the Night Mind Index, very recently submitted. It started on May 12th of this year. At the time of this writing, there are only 3 videos, and when I finished the 3rd, I immediately wanted 5 more. Now, I've blurred the description from the index, because honestly, it's just a better ride when you go in not knowing anything except a few details. First, it's another This Game I Found story, but not presented in a manner seen before. Second, it's mixed in with live action. Third, it includes found documents and viewer puzzle-solving elements, and the whole blend of all of this is so competent, so well-composed, so engaging, that I was leaning forward in my seat while watching, and getting exciting little hints of the live-action investigation story projects from years ago. And I want to begin my analysis notes and points of praise right here, right now, just thinking about everything packed into just 3 videos so far. There are those who are going to experience it through me in this video, and those who are going to charge in right now and check it out themselves before coming back, which I highly encourage and prefer. You know that's how I want things. Go do it, you have my enthusiasm and approval. But do it under the best conditions you know for getting absorbed in something. If you just think it's cool and interesting, awesome. But for a lot of you who go ahead and watch it alone, you're going to get a taste of what it was like to find non-fiction projects that inspired the paranormal adventurer in you back in 2012. And you will get the same thrill I'm feeling. I'm not kidding, I got to feel it again. And you know what else? If you're an analog horror kind of person and you want to experience some new digital horror, to feel that late 2000s, early 2010s kind of ride when indie nonfiction was just discovering itself, please watch this. Please, please, please. Can I guarantee you're going to be as excited as I am right now? Of course not. I'm witnessing a brand new project that harkens back to my roots and uses a consumer digital camera for its live action with a solo investigator who stumbles on a mystery. Of course, I'm doing my Cheshire Cat grin over this one. But if you go in and love it and feel what I'm feeling, then you'll be so glad you watched it first. I've got the playlist in the video description. It's 32 minutes, 26 seconds at this moment unless a new video drops between my recording this and publishing. That's enough to sit down and watch it over lunch or dinner or breakfast. And if you love it, please subscribe to this channel, it's so deserved. And if it excites or wows you, run into the comment section and tell me once you're back. I'll wait. Okay, are you ready to dive into this again? It's the 21st century, and there's a new world being born a little every day. We fade into an old elevator, beautifully rendered, as if just opening our eyes, looking at the control panel. Immediately, there's so much to observe. Almost all the buttons are unique. Look at the warped nature of button 1, the indent in buttons 2, 3, and 6, the discoloration or dried liquid on button 4. The orange buttons look cleaner and more uniform, but you can even spot individual markings on button 8. If there was an 11th, it's covered up or gone, the space filled in. The elevator is made by a company named Hesiod, with an anvil logo. Facilis Descensus Averno. The descent to Avernus, the Underworld, is easy, or the road to evil is smooth. Hesiod was an ancient Greek poet in the time of Homer, who made claims of being inspired by the Muses, and wrote much on the ideas of good and evil. The logo of an anvil in relation to Hesiod brings us to this passage from his work, Theogony. For a brazen anvil falling down from heaven 9 nights and days would reach the earth upon the 10th. And again, a brazen anvil falling from earth 9 nights and days would reach Tartarus upon the 10th. Here, of course, we have 10 buttons symbolizing 10 floors. Are we falling from heaven or from earth? The character in the elevator stays back, waiting to arrive at floor 1. The door opens, and beyond, darkness, except for a TV waiting for a viewer. The live action begins immediately after this, but let's study what we were shown first. 3 different variations of the same basic form, with the changing elements. Everpalm Pond appears to be one of the companies who worked on Vermis Malum, and they depict 2 palm trees crossed in this fashion, with the sun between them. Another company, Lamprov Pendle, reflects the image of Everpalm Pond, with a pair of pliers about to crush a small multicolored sphere. Notice 2 things. The round spherical center of the plier's teeth resembles the sun in Everpalm Pond's screen, and Lamprov Pendle is an anagram of Everpalm Pond, but with an extra L. Then we arrive at Vermis Malum, with the arm shaped in the way of the pliers, the hands resembling the plier's teeth, and now the red-orange spherical shape is an apple in the palms, suggesting the sun imagery has descended lower. If this image followed the pliers exactly, the apple would be at wrist level. Altogether, from the first screen to the third, we're given the suggestion of descending, the sun falling and becoming this apple. Vermis Malum relates to apples. Vermis means worm or maggot, and malum means 2 things depending on pronunciation. Malum means apple. Malum means evil. And right after seeing the title screen for the project and the game it's focused around, we get a quick glimpse of what may be evil. A massive open jaws full of fangs, cast in red, with glowing red lights. Already the stage is set for the experience to come. We have ideas presented that lay the groundwork for our understanding and emotional palettes. And while so much of what's given will be felt and understood by any viewer, those who take a moment to study just this opening minute and 18 seconds will come away with more. Seldom is there a project that manages an introduction this impactful and intelligently designed, so full of atmosphere, information, and feelings. It's mysterious, it's attractive to the eyes, it's isolating and intimidating, but compelling. From a creative and technical standpoint, it's impressive. And then we get into our live action segment with our central character, Lawrence.
Hey, I hope things are going alright. I got a chance to watch your last video on the train home yesterday. It was really beautiful. You don't need me to tell you that, you're the one who's actually there. But, still. It's hard to tell sometimes what parts are real and what parts are that fancy film camera doing tricks with the lighting and stuff.
I know you caught that. And what a point to come in with. A comment about what's real and what's trickery, giving us an idea that maybe we should be on guard ourselves about what may be real or illusory in the journey ahead. The numbers in the lower corner appear several more times as Lawrence continues his video journal. He admits it's soon to be sending another video, but whoever he's speaking to wanted to see the first time it snowed where he is. We have an area called Raven's Run nearby, and it's early in the winter. It felt weird to walk the trail alone, suggesting whoever he's recording this for used to go along. Lawrence has also made a discovery. The past couple of nights, Lawrence heard a noise above their room and, worried that it could be a leaky pipe, investigated the attic. No leaks, but there was something to be found.
It's a package. I know it's not yours, right? Did you know it was up there? I mean, you don't go up there much either, I guess. Maybe you didn't, but let me know. What's weird to me is that it was like tucked under the insulation, which means someone put it under there. It didn't just slip under by itself. I wasn't sure whether I should wait to check it out, but then I just thought, what would I be waiting for? So I opened it. It's a laptop. Charger, too. Someone who used to live in this house must have left it here. I don't know why they put it in the attic, though. I wanted to see if it still worked, so I plugged it in and let it sit for an hour. It says locked when it loads up, but when I clicked on the account, it let me in without a password, so I don't know what that's about. But it does work. Also, when I loaded it the first time, the CD drive opened. There's this disc inside. So that's all. Pretty cool, right? What do you think I should do with it? I'm going to leave it to charge some more for now. I have to take care of some stuff for work after I finish editing this, and It's already getting pretty late.
That bird song. It was familiar, wasn't it? Intriguing. You can even overlap the segments and hear that it lines up.
I have to take care of some stuff for work after I finish editing this, and
Why would the same bit of birdsong be present in both situations?
anyway, good luck with everything. I hope you're having a good time wherever you are when you watch this. Send me something back when you get a chance. I mean, take your time, just whenever you get a chance. Mafia really misses you. And I miss you too. It feels really empty around here sometimes. Not just the trail, I mean. This house. This place is too big for one person, you know? It just goes on and on. It's okay, though. I mean, making these for each other helps. Okay. Talk to you soon, alright? Bye.
The lights at the end are reminiscent of the red lights in the creature from the intro. Between those and the birdsong, it feels like there's connective tissue already forming. What other clues or potential messages can we gather from this video? There's the obvious of the numbers in the right lower corner throughout, but how about the book on the desk? It's Number 9 Dream, the second novel by David Mitchell. Its synopsis describes a story in which a 19-year-old Japanese boy from the countryside goes to Tokyo looking for his father, but stumbles across its secret power centers, and soon finds the line between the world and his dreams blurred. The number 9 is recurring. Take note how in the elevator, there are only 9 movements from heaven to earth, or earth to Tartarus. Interesting. Could just be a book on the desk, but usually it's not an accident. When it comes to the mysterious numbers, no use for them yet that's clear. There are some observations you can make though, and they're pretty interesting. First surprise is that they show up equidistant in the video. 14 appearances, 16 seconds apart each. They're not all entirely numbers either. We have a few letters thrown in and some repeats. The order goes as follows: 74, 68, 65, 77, 6F, 6D, 62, 66, 6F, 72, 67, 65, 74, 73. Unclear what we can do with these. It's got this sense about it that their use comes in later. Trying to gauge words being said when the numbers appear to form a message doesn't make sense, and the combination of letters and numbers gives the impression that a cipher is going to be needed, or some type of grid. When we see it, I think we'll know it. As for the laptop package, what's the symbol on the sticker? That's the Princeton University shield, missing the book from its upper portion and surrounded by wings. And inside, of course, we have Vermis Malum, the title of the project, and, as all clues point right now, a game. I want to really praise here how excellent the setup is in laying out the elements we need to understand the scenario and believing in it. Lawrence is at home, just got back from visiting someone they have a close relationship with, and we're viewing video diaries recorded with what's clearly a consumer digital camera. Finding a laptop that still has a CD drive with Windows 7 helps lock in the overall digital period sense of the story, and our main character sounds ordinary. Just someone exchanging video diaries, not an actor, and not sounding like one. Lawrence does sound scripted, but that makes complete sense. We can hear the audio from the video recordings under the spoken words, so it's easy to understand messages are written out and read into a mic, then layered over the clips for the recipients, and even those readings sound indoors. The scripting is in-universe. It's well-paced, it's normal for the content that it is, Lawrence sounds normal and not acted, it's comfortable, and it brings in the mystery in a way that engages us. It makes us lean in. And at the end, we want to know what's on the laptop and what's on the CD. We also want to know a little more about the relationship Lawrence has to whoever's receiving the video diaries. And of course, we've got to find out what's up with the numbers in the lower right corner. Now, before we proceed, I want to underline this element and say something important. In many other circumstances, this tactic of a very obvious, very mysterious ARG sort of element would not work. It would come across as juvenile and without the understanding by the creator of how to execute a game. Why does it work here in the very first video of Vermis Malum? Because we opened in such an engaging, competent, appetite-whetting manner. We got a taste for the ride we're in for in a way that made us care immediately, without hitting us over the head or trying to be scary and mysterious. So when you see mysterious numbers like these show up over videos that feel completely legitimate in their presentation and lead into a mystery that piques our interest, you buy it. You don't accept the lower right numbers because it's effective on its own. You accept them because everything else is. Intro, hook, believability, grounds of reality and comfort. A second hook, elements of empathy relating to the core character. This has the entire recipe, so an extra touch immediately works. Video number 2, Electric Sheep, opens with another video diary relaying a dream Lawrence had.
I was standing on the beach, I think, or maybe on a sandbar somewhere, near the ocean. The sky was full of clouds, like it was going to start raining any minute. And these big, dark waves kept rolling in and breaking in front of me. The ocean was just pitch black, too, and it went on and on. And then I started to hear this, like, whistling sound from way out in the water. Like, I don't know, like someone was whistling a song, you know? It was so quiet, but I tried to concentrate. I tried to listen hard and could almost make out the tune. And then I woke up.
From here, Lawrence presents the progress made concerning the laptop from the attic. Instead of using the camera, they've downloaded a screen recorder after getting the Wi-Fi connected. Arthur, the original owner, had a saved game of chess, which was left in a terrible position for the king in white. Nothing else seems to exist on the laptop except a documents folder, titled Unsorted, but there is an oddity at play with the local disk.
What's weird is the hard drive space is close to full. So apparently there's something really big on this computer, but I'm not sure where.
The unsorted folder was last modified on Christmas 2014 and contains 5 PDF files, ranging September 15th of 2014 to that 12/25 date. The first file, Parasite, shows us a 90s era computer with the Vermis Malum symbol on the monitor in a Polaroid labeled Parasite. In the upper corner, we see the author is A. Asimov. Arthur Asimov, most likely, giving us the full name of the laptop's former owner. Notes, sourced from the original thread on MF, aka Mythica Forums. Still not clear on the origin or significance of the photo, if it's even real. To be fair, the same could be said of most of what I've found so far. Arthur goes on to do some musing about the topic, and some of the letters have accent marks that aren't necessary. Interesting. I've tried that link and looked for Mythica Forums. No dice on either search. The file disk includes more accent marks in its writing, and the Vermis Malum disk set against a bunch of books on coding. Someone named Damon got credit for finding the witch's kitchen and was cagey about where he fished the disk up from, which Arthur found fair because he wasn't forthcoming about the story behind what he was asking Damon to look for. What could I have said though? It's a computer game no one's ever heard of, allegedly made by a developer there's no evidence actually ever existed. The laptop also is a loan from Arthur's department at work, acquired through a liaison. Now, victims. Image of a couch, at first glance blood-stained, but maybe an image burn on top that's just giving that appearance. Notes declare it Item 9, taken at 3:31 a.m., 3807 by LCPD, retrieved via FOIA. That's Freedom of Information Act, and I can't place what the LC is for a location. It could be Lake Charles, Louisiana, Las Cruces, New Mexico, or Lenoir City, Tennessee. Arthur says, would have liked to visit the house on Penny Lane myself, but it was demolished and replaced by a condominium some years after the Bell sold it. Poor girl. The file Babel follows, and the layman's understanding of the coding in the image matches the notes Arthur made. Source code, obviously, but not like any I've ever seen. Linguistic landscape as tortured as the last days at the Tower of Babel. Counted 21 unique programming languages from various domains. Everything from the latest startup darlings to moth-eaten relics so old as to be illegible to anyone under 55. Code itself is bizarre and ill-written too. Techniques used are subtly clever on places and offensively clumsy in others. Slick as sin pointer arithmetic commingles with nested loops so shameless they would make a first-year comp sci major blush. No apparent concern for interoperability, efficiency, readability, as if someone hacked off mismatched chunks from unrelated codebases sampled at random from the last half-century and then crudely stitched them together. A digital Frankenstein's monster. Much of it doesn't look like it would run at all, let alone contribute to any system as complex as a video game. No other way to say it. Case against this being a hoax looks weaker than it did a few days ago. I'll keep trying, though. Not satisfied with that explanation yet. Slowly realizing I might not ever be. Then the last file, from Christmas 2014. Catherine. There are no notes. Just this image.
So, yeah. Weird, right? It's kind of a lot. I don't really know if I have an opinion, but I felt like it was worth sharing. You know, I was actually thinking earlier, do you think they left it here on purpose? Whoever owned this laptop, I mean. Like, for someone else to find? Before, I just assumed, like, I mean, why would someone leave a computer behind except by accident, right? But, I don't know. So I think that's all I have for now. What's up with you? Still in the city, or let me know. This would have been a lot easier to show in person, but I didn't mean, no, it's okay. This works too. These are fun to make. Okay. Bye for now, alright? Bye.
The humanizing element of Lawrence's comments at the end are excellent for adding touches of understanding about his emotional state regarding distance with whoever's receiving the video diaries. And after he's done, we receive something extra. It's 3:07 on the laptop, AM most likely, and the webcam comes on. Is it a face? Certainly resembles one. The deeper tone to take away is in the sound. Lies and rot. This laptop shouldn't have been turned on. Video 3, Bad Seed, brings us back to Lawrence, having just looked up the meaning of Vermis Malum, getting the result, worm in the apple. A glance at the lower right corner shows us the clock is in military time, which means the camera did activate in the previous video at 3 a.m. Lawrence describes the latest activity with the laptop, starting with downloading a game, besides Vermis Malum, then continuing with this.
It's mostly been pretty good, but there are weird things that happen sometimes. Like, for example, a couple days ago I was writing an email. I was doing the first draft in a notepad, so I didn't accidentally send it, you know. It was for, a friend. It doesn't matter. I left to get dinner, and when I got back to finish, I felt like some of the words were changed. Small stuff, like the word yesterday would be changed to the day before. Really small stuff. I almost didn't notice. I mean, I know nowadays every single program has some, like, little helper to fix your grammar and vocabulary and whatever. Remember Clippy? But I don't think Notepad does. I use it all the time, and that never happened before.
Odd activity with the laptop changing words. Is this an explanation for the odd accent marks in Arthur's files? We can also tell Lawrence is trying to make or keep a contact he'd rather not discuss. And this habit of his of drafting messages before sending them is in line with his scripting of messages for the video diary. Lawrence might not be totally confident when it comes to communication. As for this mysterious contact, perhaps it's in relation to the laptop and Vermis Malum. Lawrence runs the game, and the intro screen is immediately familiar, as well as what comes after. This recontextualizes the beginning of the series, though we don't have evidence yet to determine how. If you look closely, you'll see even the cursor in-game has the recurring form seen in the logo. Lawrence moves to the continue screen, and guess what's here? Arthur's save file on Ring 3. Lawrence can't access this due to the save being from an earlier version of Vermis Malum. He also chooses not to delete it, a smart decision knowing how these things go. The new character menu is presented with a seat option, sitting on Leet as the default. Probably just a fun developer touch. The screen gets a bit wavier as Lawrence continues, answering questions for settings, and settling on red as favorite color. The character is created on ring 9, with a different set of symbols and in white as opposed to green. Lawrence proceeds and is treated to a loading screen with a quote from poet Robert Frost. "So near to paradise all pairing ends. Here loveless birds now flock as winter friends." As the environment loads in, we find that we already know it. Notice the elevator's movement, from 10 to 9, and the door opens. The rings are a progression system.
What if I want to go to a different floor? Oh. Okay. Sure, well, I figured that out. This is interesting. What key is that? Spacebar? It's not really much of a jump. So this tree is dead, but it's still growing fruit? I mean, I'm not a botanist, but... What does that do? Okay.
What I love about this sequence is how incredibly environment and atmosphere focused it is. The open winter park feeling, the light snow flurries, the calm music and footsteps crunching over cold earth. Looking around, taking it all in. The open and inviting terrain with such realistic trees. The mystery of what each sign says and what could be in that warm-looking building. What might lie beyond. This is a first-person experience that really ties you into a sense of having stepped out of an elevator into an explorable world.
I assumed, but never hurts to try. Oh. Just the illusion of a bigger world out there, I guess. It's not really there. Why is that so loud? I have to turn my volume down one sec. It's not... There's nothing telling me to press a key. I'm pressing E.
Wait, what was that interaction? 6, 12, 14. That's during Arthur's time in the house. Let's hope we get to explore that option later.
These are those apples I got.
Unfit for senatorial hands. A Roman reference, maybe?
Can I equip this somehow? It's a weapon, right? Is that what that sword icon next to the name means? Am I going to fight a monster later? Well, there has to be a key then, right? Or maybe I just have to do something else first. Always. So, I get the feeling that... Well, let's just do this first.
Don't go down the mountain, please. You're going the wrong way.
Mountain? It fades out. You can't go over there anyway.
That naive masterist couple eloped too. It never ends well for you people. Do you know what happens to your body after you die?
What was that supposed to be? Who was that? I can't interact with it anymore. I guess they hung up.
A naturist couple. Odd inclusion in this scenario. They wouldn't be faring very well out there in the cold, but I have a feeling it's not literal. In any case, we have a character now, communication, and danger.
Well, okay. Let's see. Okay. So, I think I'm going to have to cut out most of the last 15 minutes. I walked around in different directions. Nothing really happened. If you go in the water, it fades to black. If you go too far out, it fades to black. I did pick some more apples along the way. I'm sure we'll find something to use them for. Oh, and I went back in the house to see if the phone would ring again. It didn't, but I did find this one thing. On the shelf here, there's actually something you can interact with. But you have to jump to reach it.
February 2nd, 2007. Snow day. Got to spend the whole day at home. Mom was going to hire a babysitter, but then she didn't. Leo was online in Puff and Pop, so we played together mostly. Maybe he had a snow day too where he lives. He got a new cowboy hat from Glow Store for 350 pufflies, but he asked if I wanted it. I think he likes me. I asked why he plays a game for girls so much even though he's a boy. Leo says games aren't for girls or boys, they're for everyone. He asked me my last name, but I said I'm not supposed to share stuff like that with strangers. He said okay, but he wasn't mad. He told me his last name is Von Drepham. I said that sounds like a vampire's name. Leo promised he would tell me if he was a vampire.
Yeah. Not really sure what to say about that one. So I think it's pretty obvious what I have to do. I need to find a way to get inside that closed door. The windmill. But I don't know, I mean, I couldn't find a key anywhere. I couldn't really find anything else to do. Except that thing in the house. That didn't change anything. I know there has to be something, right? Maybe there's a place I need to use the shovel to dig. And I just missed it. I don't know. We'll see.
This is fascinating. It evokes desire to try it for yourself. I wanted the game immediately, to run around and see what I could find, to try the shovel and the knife in different places. There is always a degree of that with this game. I found stories, but with Vermis Malum, it's different. It beckons you to enter and try it for yourself. Of particular interest is the way this area resembles the situation we found Lawrence in. Going outside in the snow, recording a winter scene. Lots of barren trees and snow flurries. Even the ground looks similar, and there's a small lake here too. Is it possible that Ring 9 of Vermis Malum is replicating the environment around the house? The giant tree and massive rotting apple is quite a sight. With that storm of flies, there will be more than one bug inside for the immediate future. It's such a nasty, almost violently loud contrast to everything else in the scene. A very effective element of the environment and episode. And just as viewers had information to collect in episode 1, they do again here, now that we have an alphabet forming through the signs. Plenty of questions have surfaced for us already. What happened to Arthur Asimov, and how did his personal journey in the game begin? Who was the little girl from 2007, and what happened to that family? Is it related to the victims file Arthur had composed mentioning an event in March of 2007 and a poor girl from Penny Lane? Who exactly is Lawrence talking to in his video diaries, and who did he reach out to? Why does the anagram of Ever Palm Pond, Lamprov Pendle, have an extra L? Who is Catherine? 3 videos. That's all it took to generate this much atmosphere, mystery, intrigue, and death of story setup. A brilliant mix of live-action footage, digital mock-ups, and first-person game footage. Vermis Malum is already gold. I can't find a flaw in this unless I pick on something that may have been an audio mistake on the creator's part that will go unnoticed by the majority of people. I have been excited about this project from the first few seconds of footage all the way to this moment of talking to you about it. I felt in my element watching this and working on the script, and I needed to get this video out to you all as soon as possible, so as many can know about it as early as possible and get in for the ride, and to just be thrilled about this and shout out everything that's so cool in it. It doesn't matter to me if Video 4 drops between the time of my writing and publishing this and I missed an opportunity to talk about more stuff. Let it happen. I'm so energized by this project. It has everything going on for a truly intelligent, informed on-fiction story approach, and it's an entire oxygen tank of fresh air to me, especially because this is what it means to exemplify inspiration over imitation. Yes, this is another entry in the style of something like Rapid Eyes, or Diminish, or Baia Verde, or Pet's Cop, but it's a very clearly designed evolution of its predecessors that asked, what hasn't been done with this yet, and delivered the answers. It's even got hints of stories like Marble Hornets and Chainmail Chasers, and still, it figured out what makes projects like those work and then channeled their energy, not their form. This is the old and established, taken in new direction, new style, to bring us a revitalizing experience of the familiar in a way we missed, but is new and updated beyond what's come before. Look how many tantalizing branches of mystery we've got in this. The origin and nature of Vermis Malum, the story of Arthur with the game, the stories behind the information he found of others' history with it, Lawrence's adventure starting up, and the nature of the relationship with whoever's on the other end of the video diaries. That's what, 5 points we get to watch develop? Oh, and the lower right-hand codes and solving the symbols within Vermis Malum, we've got those too. And it all works. The whole platter. It all runs together without any element tasting boring or tacked on. Do you know how little I find a project with secret codes that don't feel tacked on? It's as rare as a genuinely good application of binary. Now, for the website attached and briefly seen in the project. That does very much appear to be a legitimate website for apple growers in Vermont. I don't advise poking around in it. Please do not bother these farmers. If anything, it may just be some indication of our setting while having to do with apples. If there was a misstep at all in the project, that's it right there. That's the only one. Maybe remove that link. As for anything else in the project that stands out to you, look closely, make notes, see if opportunities arrive to apply information. It's very clear that viewers are being offered what Lawrence may not be seeing or taking note of at the beginning. I've started a folder for myself of the alphabet in Vermis Malum so I can stay on top of translations as I watch. That's the kind of dedication it's already stirred in me. Wow, this is so much fun. It's only the start of the summer and we've got this to enjoy. Please, subscribe to Vermis Malum if you haven't already, and share it with whatever friends you have who love unfiction and ARGs and creepypasta, and yeah, you know who's going to enjoy this in your circles. Go spread it around. That's all for tonight, everyone. Thanks to the creator of Vermis Malum for making a project I couldn't wait to cover and sending it in to the Nightmind Index. Thanks to all of you for watching, and thanks to my supporters on Patreon, who empower the work I do on Nightmind, including the Nightmind Index, where I first discovered Vermis Malum as I mentioned. This is one of the reasons why I do the Index. It gets amazing new projects out there. It's open to everyone to explore and find new experiences. Patreon enables me to always do Nightmind and keep the Index going, and you can join and help for as little as $2 a month. I'm also going to be giving elements of crowd control from my streaming to those on Patreon, which I anticipate to be a lot of fun. If you're a patron and haven't checked in for a bit, take a look. And speaking of the streaming over on Twitch, that link is in the description, and while you may not recognize my current form for the month if you come by between now and July 6, 2024, it's going to disappear for good after July 6, 2024. And the form that comes after will be very familiar, and I'll be so glad to be home at last to all of you in a way you recognize me. Thanks for joining me in the dark again this evening. Once more, I'm Nick Nocturne, and while I'm hoping to see more Vermis Malum real soon, you'll be seeing me again real soon, both in terms of videos on Nightmind, and in a much more monstrous, four-eyed form on Twitch, at last. Do stay tuned for updates on that front, and until next time, sleep tight.